The CEO of Heathrow Airport has called for the government to test passengers on their arrival into the UK.
The government hasn't yet made a decision on this. We've been working on it for well over a month, and I've been talking about a common international standard for testing for the last couple of months. But we have seen a lot more engagement with the government in the last few days, and that has led us to stand up our testing facility with Collinson Swissport so that within a few weeks we could be ready to go with a first test on arrival for passengers who want to reduce their quarantine. But we need to get the government on board with this, because only they can allow someone to come out of quarantine early if they test negative on that second test. So this is a chance for the private industry and the government to work together to rebuild the UK economy and protect millions of jobs.
Under the proposed plans, people returning to the UK would be tested on arrival. If their result was negative, they would be tested again in 5 or 8 days' time to confirm they are safe. A negative test would also allow the person to leave quarantine between 6 to 9 days early, depending on how quickly the test was processed. Coronavirus patients may be asymptomatic, and the virus takes 5 to 7 days to incubate before symptoms do show. Therefore, testing and isolating those without symptoms can prevent the spread of the virus. According to newspaper reports, some 20 countries, including France and Germany, already have a testing regime in place at airports.
Many other countries have started to trial testing as an alternative to quarantine. And in fact, France started these trials back at the beginning of June with some of their overseas territories. First of all, with a double test, the kind of thing we're proposing, and then they've come down to a single test. Now, we know that a single test doesn't work for the UK government based on the science. So what we're proposing today is a double test.
However, the government has insisted that there is no viable alternative to the 14-day quarantine rules currently in place. Critics of the proposed plans say that there is a risk of false negatives allowing people with the virus to enter the country undetected.
I've heard the comments on that, and that refers to just having a single test, which would mean that people who are carrying the disease but aren't showing any symptoms yet might slip through the net. And that's why we're proposing a double test, day 1 and day 5, or day 1 and day 8, which would allow people to get out of quarantine earlier. And that would capture almost anyone who currently has the disease and bring the risk down to a similar level to the one that you and I face in going about our normal business.